collection, then data analysis. These are the subtopics. And
Okay.
actually, you will be delivering on research report writing. Surely, you will start with research methodology and tell the participants about the basic things about research methodology. Then go on the research report writing.
Okay, okay, sir. Sir, is it possible that I should have a brief introduction of the participants? So
Yes,
it would be easy for me to talk.
Yes, yes, definitely. You want participants? Actually, there are around 150 participants. We would not be able to ask everyone to
Okay.
introduce himself.
Okay.
So the brief introduction of the participants is that was also mentioned in the email we sent to you, that these are the assistant professors of public sector colleges. They are getting this 1 month long training program. That training program is for their promotion. They will get their promotion after getting this training program. So this is their brief introduction, and I think if you want to interact with them, I would enable them to talk. I would enable their mics to unmute,
Okay.
and they will then talk to you.
Okay, because I have a few activities, so I need their interaction during the.
Definitely, their mics are on now. They can unmute their mics and talk to you. You can definitely run your activities which you have planned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hopefully, you all are listening my voice very clearly. And as I came to know, I think the research report writing is the final part of the any research endeavor. So I hope and I wish that you people know about what is research. So my first activity is even for you people is that if any one of you can define research, whether in your own terms or whether you have a definition of some scholars. Anyone, if anyone want to reply this question. What define research in your own terms? Hello. जी वालेकुम सलाम. Yes, please. I'm not listening your voice. Number one is the systematic, and other three words: collecting, analyzing, and interpreting the information. And this definition actually give us an overview of overall research process. So is this okay? That if someone asks you, because you gave me a one type of definition, that you just talked about the relationship. Later on, we will talk about the relationship or whatever you want to say. That's about the research methods. But first of all, if we talked about the definition, this is very simple definition. I think if you give a little bit attention to these 3-4 words, number one is just the systematic. You have to remember this word, and then collecting, the second word, analyzing, the third word, and interpreting, the fourth word. So these 4 words can guide you for the for any kind of definition about the research. So is this okay or not? Next is
yes, ma'am.
Next is why research? This is very important question. And especially I want to ask that why research is important for a teacher, because as I came to know that you are already working as an assistant professor, and you are all of you are a teacher. So why research is important for you as a teacher? If someone want to give me an answer of this question. Why research is important for us? I am also a teacher. Why research is important for us as a teacher?
Because we have to supervise our thesis, as well
yes.
as it is the important part of our curriculum. So we must have some idea, and we have practice to conduct our students.
Thank you. Very good. But when we are a teacher, the first responsibility is the teaching. So if we have a know-how about the research process, research methodology, we become able to interpret the researches conducted by the other people. We become able to understand the findings and the results of those researches that are related to teaching and learning, because as you all know that the education is not a static process, it's a dynamic process. Everyone should need to update. If you are a teacher and if you want to be a good teacher, one of the major characteristic of good teacher is that the teacher should be aware of the updated knowledge, because as you know that this world is changing quite dramatically, especially after the information technologies changing so fast. So we need to update our knowledge. So one of the function of the research is that why we people as a teacher should know about the researches, that we have to ability to understand the research process, research findings, that and the research is conducted anywhere in the world to improve our teaching. And the second function is because our duty is to supervise the different kind of research projects. And we might be the part of the different research projects. So I think we should have a know-how about the research process. Another thing is that if we have a research course and if we have a training about the research, we can even contribute towards the different projects launched by the government to contribute towards the economy of our country, or to contribute towards different problems which we are facing in education department or in the system of education, or you can say even the assessment process. So through research we can improve all these areas. So it's a I think if someone is graduating or if someone is teaching and the person is not well aware of the research and research process, I think the person cannot prove or even cannot nurture their students well enough. So that is why research is important for us as a teacher. Most of the time, I think people think about research is just it's a laborious work and it's quite boring. But I don't think so. It's like that. Formal research is a conscious effort. Otherwise, we all are working on this research process in everyday activity of our life. For example, if you are going to plan your shopping, if you are going to plan any event, so you need to do a certain mental work, and this mental work is actually a research process. So we define our problem, we look for the opportunities, then when we execute that our method to achieve that goal which we have in our mind, for example, for a shopping. So every activity of life is actually very much linked with the research. So this is another importance of the research. It's not about only that we become a good professional, but even if you want to live a good life without panic and very systematic life, I think you people must know how to act on the research steps while doing all these day-to-day life activities. So I think up till that, we understand the importance of why research is important in our life as a teacher and also in a personal capacity. So the other topic is that what are the types of research? Anyone want to share their ideas or their knowledge about the types of research? What are the types of research?
Quantitative and quantitative research.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
In the social sciences and research in the basic sciences.
Descriptive and empirical.
Okay.
And it may be also classified as are also the type of research.
Okay, I think some people have a problem with their mics and some other voices I can also hear. Please, if you want to keep this session interactive. I think we must follow certain SOPs. So please keep your place noise free. You people replied me a few answers, and these are some of the answers are a bit relevant. We can classify actually research. There are two methods of classifying the research. Number one is by purpose. What is the purpose of the research? That is the, if we define research by purpose, it means that it is a basic research. One of the research type is basic research, and another one is applied research. There are some noises.
अब दोस्तों से गुजारिश है कि वो माइक म्यूट रखें और जिसने बोलना हो वो अपना माइक म्यूट करें।
Thank you.
मैम इनके माइक म्यूट करा दें।
जी
खाली माइक म्यूट करें।
सिर्फ वो अनम्यूट करें जो बोलना चाहते हैं, बाकी सब म्यूट करें।
बाकी सब म्यूट कर दें, जो को बोलना चाहता हो वही फॉर द टाइम बीइंग जब वो बोल रही हो तो अपना माइक जो है वो ऑन करें, अदरवाइज वो इंटरप्शंस बहुत ज्यादा हो रही हैं. So type of research, we are talking about the type of research. So one of the method of classifying the research is by purpose, basic research and applied research. What is the purpose of basic research? Basic research is actually we conduct basic research to fill the gaps in literature, in knowledge. If we talked about the knowledge, it's a very interesting question. If I want to ask, what is knowledge and what are the sources of knowledge? Anyone else want to reply?
Ma'am, systematic information or systematized information is called knowledge.
Okay, very good.
There are different sources of knowledge, of acquisition of knowledge. Number one, senses. Reasoning, faith, and belief, intuition, revelation.
Okay, good. I will give you an activity, and then I think it will become more better for you people. But presently we are just talking about the classification of the research by purpose and by method. By purpose, we have a two type of research: basic research and applied research. Basic research is for filling the gap in the knowledge. If you people, I think every one of you have a one or two research projects during your academic career. When you are studying, when you are student, you have a one or two research project, and you people must, I think you people know what does it mean by the gaps in the knowledge. Because when we write down the rationale of our study, we just rationale mean that why we are going to do this research, and what is the significance of that research, what gap this research is going to fill. So one type of research is the basic research. The other type is the applied research. Applied research means that if we want to solve any problem which we are facing, for example, if I am a teacher and I have an issue with a few students that they have some behavioral issues, and I want to solve this problem. Another example, if I have a student who is not actively participating in classroom, so as a teacher, we daily face so many issues. So if I want to eradicate this problem through research, it is called applied research. When we apply different research methods to solve our daily problems. So if up till now, if you have any question, you can ask me before proceeding further. What is research? What are the another is one classification is by purpose and other is by method. When we talked about that by method mean whether we are going to use qualitative approach or quantitative approach. In qualitative approach, we have a different methods. For example, we have a case study method, we have a historical research, we have narrative research, we have ethnographic research. These are the qualitative research methods. And in quantitative, we have a survey research, causal comparative research, correlational research, and experimental research. And one of the definition which I asked, and someone replied me that research is to identify the relationship between two variables. When we conduct the correlational research, we try to identify, we try to establish the relationship between the variables. So it is one of the type of the research. Overall definition is a bit general. So these are the two classification of the research. One is by purpose and one is by method. So can you people have an idea about the how many steps research have?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ma'am, first of all, to solve any problem, we have to formulate a hypothesis, identify the problem, and then मेरी आवाज आ रही मैम?
जी बिल्कुल clear आ रही है.
Well, first of all, we have to understand the problem which is going on, and then we have to formulate the hypothesis, and then we have designed the methodology, and keeping in view the related problems in literature, we should carry out the experimentation, and then the conclusion is drawn out of those results. Either that hypothesis becomes true, or that is falsified. If it is falsified, then we make another hypothesis to understand that problem again and carry out the research. These are the general steps which I understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very well and very rightly said. All these are the steps of the research process. If I just want to add it a few more things, for example, the number one is that you have to formulate the research problem.
Yeah.
First of all, we must have some questions in our mind. We have some objectives which we want to achieve. So we have to select the broader area from where we want, in which area we want to have our research project. For example, if I am talking about the education, we have a curriculum, we have an assessment, and similarly some educational psychology. So first of all, we have to select the broader area.
Well, ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. It varies from subject to subject, because my subject is biological science, so we have to concentrate upon one problem specifically, which is aimed to solve. So I think it varies. It varies from subject to subject. If we study the humanities, we have to study all those problems which are related with that. But say for example, we want to know why a particular disease is spreading in a certain area. We will have to focus upon those symptoms and which we can know through the data collection or observations. So it varies. I think, sorry to say, it varies from subject to subject. I don't know you agree with me or not. Thank you very much. My name is Sangeeta.
I am 100% agree with you. Actually, you solved my problem. When you talked about the epidemics, you just strengthen my point of view that we have have to select a broader area, and epidemic is not a small part. You know, we are all suffering nowadays this phenomena. So we have to specify. So this thing is true for every subject. Not for humanity, not for education, for each and every, even for medicine, you have to specify the broader area, and then you have to curtail your major area into a researchable topic. For example, if you want to work on the epidemics, then what type of epidemics you must transform your broader area into a researchable content, researchable topic, because we can't research in so many directions at one time. So we have to specify.
Sure.
Yes. First of all, you have to select. Now, I think now we are agree. We both are agree that we have to first we have to select the broader area. Then we have to shortlist our specific area, and then we have to formulate. The first step is formulating the research problem. So the question is, what is research problem? So, what is research problem? Anyone else?
Ma'am, it may be a hypothesis.
We formulate hypothesis later on, but first of all we have to systematically. It's there is a you can say there is a pet format of formulating hypothesis.
Ma'am, any scientific problem which comes into our mind as a question, and that comes into mind a mind of a scientist as a scientific problem. That question is actually the key or the first step towards the research, and then after understanding that question or that problem, we start formulating the hypothesis, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we are actually talking about the formulation of the research problem. As I already told you, that the researcher must decide the general area of interest or aspect of subject matter that he would like to inquire into, and then research problem should be formulated. First of all, you have to select the subject matter where you want to have your research study, and then you have to formulate the research problem. Please.
Suppose, ma'am, there is certain countryside area, and many girls, they suffer from schizophrenia. They start laughing, and then they start weeping, and the change of behavior is observed in those girls. The people used to hypothesize in the past that they suffer from certain genie or certain other type of the problem. Now, that was the broader area. Okay, certain people said that this could be certain infection, and those people who studied their blood sample, and then the effect of those poisons which are produced in their blood, and they act upon their different organs, and particularly their nervous system. They came to know that they suffer from toxoplasma. Okay,
yes.
That is a parasite that has been decided now world over that causes schizophrenia. That is an infection. ये कोई जिन वगैरह नहीं होते, भूत नहीं होते, बल्कि ये एक इन्फेक्शन है. अब ये डिसाइड हुआ, तो हमने पर्टिकुलराइज किया, उसको स्पेसिफाई किया एक ब्रॉडर एरिया, जैसे आपने कहा कि पहले लोग कोई भूत प्रीत वगैरह वगैरह, ये मनहूसत वगैरह वगैरह कहते थे, और अब बात ये आके निकली कि ये एक इन्फेक्शन है और उसकी वजह से ये हो रहा है. तो मेरे ख्याल में आप यही कहना चाह रही हैं.
जी बिल्कुल, मैं यही कहना चाह रही हूँ. जब आप रिसर्च में बात करते हैं, एक्चुअली रिसर्च इज अ वेरी टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट. व्हेन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम, एक्चुअली यू हैव टू पुट, even you can put in a question form whatever you want to study, what question you have in your mind, and you want to get the answer of that question. You have to put that question in a very in a very systematic way. For example, if you want to judge your problem statement by your own self, you have to there is a criteria. For example, 3 indicators are there that should be mentioned in your research problem. Number 1, the variable of interest on which you want to do your research, that should be mentioned in your problem statement. And number 2, your research design should be reflected in your problem statement. And number 3, population of interest should be reflected on this problem statement. For example, because I am education person and I am an educator. So my research problem, for example, I just want to investigate the that is problem statement. I investigate the effect of teacher competencies on student achievement at grade 6 level. So you noted this problem statement or not? Effect of teacher competencies on student achievement at grade 6 level. Everyone noted this problem statement or not?
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, please, can you please identify these 3 indicators which I have already mentioned to you? Number 1, variable. Number 2, the research design, and number 3, the population. Yes, please. Okay, I will tell you. Effect mean. Gigi, yes, please. If anyone want to respond.
The problem is education level, and
yes.
And design is assessment of the learning, and result. The third one, what things you want to
ask? Population
is the class 6 students.
एक चीज आपने ठीक बताई, and that is the population. Effect is mentioning actually the research design. Whether I have to go for the causal comparative or an experimental research when we discuss the quantitative method. So effect, the term effect is mentioning my research design.
That we are not able to listen to you properly. Your voice is very distorting. Please adjust your mic.
I have adjusted my mic, and my surroundings are quite noise free. Now is it okay? Hello?
It's already okay. We are quite clear.
I think if someone can someone listen me properly?
We are listening to you properly. I'm properly listening to you. It's okay. There might be problem with that guest, I think.
I think so. Because my internet is because I am sitting in the university and I'm using the university internet, so I don't think so I have this problem. Might be someone else have. Kindly mute your mic. There is noise.
जी मैडम, माइक इनके म्यूट कर दिए हैं, आप जब कहेंगी तो उनके दोबारा।
हाँ जी, तो हम बात कर रहे थे, मैंने आपको एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट बताई और मैंने कहा कि इससे पहले मैंने आपसे ये बात की थी कि 3 इंडिकेटर्स हैं कि आपको ये पता चलाने के लिए कि क्या ये रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम एक अच्छी रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम है या नहीं है, इज इट अ गुड रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम और नॉट। तो 3 इंडिकेटर्स मैंने बताए थे, वेरिएबल्स मेंशन होने चाहिए, डिजाइन पता चलना चाहिए और पॉपुलेशन पता होनी चाहिए। पॉपुलेशन का आपने बता दिया, समवन रिप्लाई कि 6th grade students. Effect, the word effect is mentioning the design of the research, and the variables are teacher competencies is an independent variable and student achievement is the dependent variable. So whenever you formulate hypothesis, you can by yourself check the authenticity of your problem statement, whether it is rightly stated or not. You just remember these 3 indicators that your research problem should reflect your variable of your study, your research design, and population of your study. Okay, is this okay or not? I have a activity for you people.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Taken.
Look at this diagram, and please write down on your left side, what does it mean by that picture? Write down your perception about following pictures while keeping in view the concept of research. So,
Ma'am, it's too difficult to understand the wording which is written around on the right side. That's why we
okay,
won't be able to
okay.
understand.
मैडम
Right.
इसको फुल स्क्रीन पे कर दें प्रेजेंटेशन को ना अपनी को
Okay.
स्लाइड शो कर दें स्लाइड शो हाँ जी
Okay. I can actually I am very poor in technology.
मैंने F8 होगा कीबोर्ड में ना F8 बटन क्लिक कीजिएगा
Okay.
F5 please. Only F5 ma'am.
F5. Okay.
बेल का नीचे साइन हो गया मैडम उसको देख लीजिएगा
I think it
बेल का साइन होगा राइट साइड पे
हो गई है
नहीं अभी नहीं हुई हाँ आप
हो गई है
हाँ जी आप
हाँ जी now I think you can see first one is the caption is boy that is hot. You read it or not? Boy that
No,
is
ma'am.
There is some problem with that boy to make say that he has some question.
difficult for us madam for reading.
It is illegible.
You don't go for the writing. Please just look at the picture and write your perception about that picture.
Okay.
So is this
Ma'am, where to write, ma'am? Because
just in your notebook? Just in your notebook.
Okay.
Then I ask
Yeah. Okay.
your notebooks.
Okay. Taken the point. Why there is so hard?
Can I ask?
Discussion, I think.
Yes. Sharing information. They are not observing. They are just talking to each other. This is the sharing of information.
Ma'am, they are reasoning right now.
They are sharing information.
Yes, reasoning. This is the technical term. This is reasoning.
No. It's just now. We are just talking about the sharing. And what about the third one? The third one.
Try to solve the problems. Try to solve the problems.
Something told by an expert. Something told by an expert.
Expert opinion or teaching.
Yes. Something. Expert opinion is one of the source of knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
And what about the third one? I can read it for you. If the cat is in the basket and the basket is in the box, the cat therefore has to be in the box.
Experimentation, ma'am?
No, it's about the logic.
Reasoning. Yes.
Logical reasoning.
Logical
And
reasoning.
yes, and
deductive logic. Deductive and inductive.
And exactly. And what is the last one? It's about the scientific method, about which we people are talking about. Okay.
Where all sources of knowledge are involved.
Okay, all these are the sources of knowledge actually.
Yes.
And the last one is the scientific method. And all the steps of scientific methods are there in the research process, as we have already discussed the steps of research process.
Yes.
Now, the few slides about the research methodology. Research methodology is a collective term for the structured process. Kindly mute करें जिनके पीछे आवाज आ रही है सब्जी वाले की. Research methodology is a collective term for the structured process of conducting research. There are many different methodologies used in various types of research, and the term is usually considered to include research design, data gathering, data analysis. Research methodology seeks to inform why what data has been why particular statements from analyzing data look at these two slides. The one thing is very important. Most of the people did not bother while writing their research report or when they write down their thesis. If we ask them that if I ask someone that please write down your research design, they will give me a definition of the correlational research or the whatever the design they have, causal comparative. I think that is not the very much important part, that you give me a definition of some other people. The question is that why you are using this method is very much important, and you have to reply this question. Whenever you write your research report, whenever you write your research thesis, the question is whenever you want to write any part of your research. For example, when we talked about the sample size, and you have written in your research project that you selected 500 people. I am not interested in 500 people, but I am interested why 500 people. So there should be a logical reasoning of every action in research. Otherwise, there is a big question mark in your research if you are not answering the why questions. Okay. So as I already told you, there are two research approaches: quantitative research and qualitative research. These are the approaches. These are not methods. Remember this. Most of the people confuse this. Quantitative research and qualitative research are not methods. Quantitative research and qualitative research are the approaches. Under these approaches, we have a few research methods. For example, quantitative, we have a survey, causal comparative, correlation, and experimental, and similarly in the qualitative. So here are the definitions. Quantitative method emphasize objective measurements and the statistical, mathematical, or numerical analysis of data collected through polls, questionnaires, and surveys are by manipulating pre-existing statistical data using computational techniques. Quantitative research focuses on gathering numerical data and generalizing it across groups of people or to explain a particular phenomena. Similarly, qualitative research is the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting non-numerical data such as language. Qualitative research can be used to understand how an individual subjectively perceives and gives meaning to their social reality. So these are the definitions you can find from anywhere else. But one thing which is missing, because I think you have a few other presentations regarding research. Am I right or not? You people are aware of few things. I don't know someone else told you or not. Before starting anything we as a researcher, the first thing is that what are the philosophical foundations of our research? We must as a researcher, we have certain philosophical stance as such. What is reality, what is knowledge, how we as a researcher take reality, whether it is constructed, whether it is singular, whether reality can be objectified. So this is not my topic today, but I think you people, there are certain paradigms of research. So quantitative research fall in a positivistic paradigm, and qualitative research fall in the naturalistic or the interpretive paradigm. Now presently we have a critical theory and some other new paradigms, feminist theory. So these are the philosophical foundations of the research, and these are not the topic of today, but might be some other place. So you have to decide your population. As I already told you, it is you have, before formulating your problem statement, you must have in your mind what is the population of your study, because you have to mention the population in your problem statement. So being a researcher, we have a certain limitation. We can't research on whole population because of time constraint, financial constraints. There are so many other constraints. Even a human being has a certain limited capacity to do everything. We can't do as an individual human being. So that is why we have to select the sample. And sample should be, again, the characteristics of the sample should be that sample should be the representative of the population, because we have to, we do research on sample, but we have to generalize the result on the population. So that is very much important step of the research process, that you have to decide your population and then select your sample, and then what tool you people are going to use. It is called instrumentation. Whether you have your own, you have to develop your own tool, or you have to get the tool someone else develop, because tool development is again a very lengthy process. So then you have to select your research design, and then the data collection procedures, and at the end data analysis. Again, here is an example for you people. Differentiate between qualitative and quantitative research on these four aspects. For example, how research topic in quantitative research is different from qualitative research. Similarly, problem statement. Similarly, sampling, research design. How these two approaches are different. Yes, please. If someone want to respond. Hello. 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 हेलो,
आवाज आ रही है? आवाज आ रही है, आवाज आ रही है।
जी जी, अच्छा, मैं ये कह रही थी कि आपको क्वालिटेटिव और क्वांटिटेटिव का आइडिया है, क्योंकि मैं तो स्नैपशॉट ले रही हूँ, ऑलरेडी आप लोगों ने इन चीजों को पढ़ा होगा। सिमिलरली जो मैंने फिलोसॉफिकल फाउंडेशंस की बात की है कि बीइंग अ रिसर्चर हमारा एक स्टांस होता है कि मतलब बीइंग अ रिसर्चर मैं किन चीजों पे बिलीव करता हूँ, वो आपको गाइड करते हैं आपके रिसर्च प्रोसेस।
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम, वो स्क्रीन चली गई है, प्लीज।
स्क्रीन चली गई है?
हाँ जी।
Okay, how can I share?
Just by going back, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Now is
No, ma'am.
Not yet?
No.
Not yet.
No, ma'am. Not yet. Exactly.
Wait a minute. मिनिमाइज थोड़ा सा करते हैं।
हाँ जी जी
Now
अपीयर
it's-
हो गया।
जी मैडम की स्लाइड नजर आ रही है।
ओके ओके ओके। सो ये एक्टिविटी आपको समझ आई है कि आपने क्वालिटेटिव और क्वांटिटेटिव को डिफरेंशिएट करना है, कि किस तरह से रिसर्च टॉपिक के लिहाज से डिफरेंट होती हैं, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट के लिहाज से दोनों अप्रोचेस कैसे डिफरेंट हैं, सैम्पलिंग के लिहाज से, रिसर्च डिजाइन के लिहाज से, टाइप ऑफ डाटा कलेक्शन, ये टाइप ऑफ डाटा के लिहाज से, एंड डाटा कलेक्शन स्ट्रेटजीज के हवाले से दोनों अप्रोचेस कैसे डिफरेंट होती हैं।
मैम अगर हम कहीं भी किसी यूनिट को लिखते हैं, अगर हम नंबर आते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम कोई डिजीज है, उसमें हम देखते हैं कि एक पॉपुलेशन एरिया, उसमें इतने लोग हैं, दूसरा एक हमारे पास सिलेक्टेड एरिया है, उसमें इतने नंबर है, से फॉर एग्जांपल 8 है, एक एग्जांपल पे 8 आए हैं, दूसरे में जो है वो 5 आए हैं, तीसरे में 0 आया है। इस तरह का जो डेटा होता है, ये अप्रोच यूज की जाती है क्वांटिटेटिव। और क्वालिटेटिव में ऐसा होता है कि से फॉर एग्जांपल हम कलर्स को देखते हैं कि जी फलां एरिया में, लाहौर के फलां एरिया में कितने गोरे लोग हैं और कितने सांवले लोग हैं और कितने वो काले हैं जिनको माएँ सांवला कहती हैं और कितने हैं जो असली काले हैं, वगैरह वगैरह। तो जब इस तरह का हो से जिसको हम वर्ड्स में बयान करते हैं या उनकी सिफात से बयान करते हैं,
टेक्सचुअल डाटा,
जी, दैट इज नोन एज व्हाट द क्वालिटेटिव डेटा।
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, बट मैं ब्रीफली आपको बता देती हूँ। रिसर्च टॉपिक, क्वांटिटेटिव रिसर्च टॉपिक जो होता है वेरी वेल फॉर्मुलेटेड होता है। जी
तो थोड़ा
जी हेलो
जी मैम, जब हम क्वांटिटेटिव में होते हैं तो देन वी आर डीलिंग नंबर, डिजिट एंड एग्जैक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन, and when we are talking about quantitatively, then we use information, videos, voice and other things,
textual material, even text, we use
textual material, exactly. तो इसके बाद ये structured
ब्रीफली डिस्कस करना चाह रही थी कि रिसर्च टॉपिक वेरी रिग्रेस होता है। क्वांटिटेटिव में हम पहले से फॉर्मुलेट कर लेते हैं, जब हमारी प्रपोजल बनती है तो ये फाइनलाइज्ड हो जाता है। बट इन क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च सम टाइम टॉपिक इज फाइनलाइज्ड व्हेन यू आर इन द फील्ड, क्योंकि फील्ड बहुत फ्लूइड है। क्वालिटेटिव में आपको फील्ड में जाके टेक्सचुअल डाटा, तो ये दोनों में फर्क है कि टॉपिक इज वेरी क्वांटिटेटिव में वेरी वेल फॉर्मुलेटेड होता है बिफोर स्टार्टिंग रिसर्च, और क्वालिटेटिव में इवन रिसर्च स्टार्ट होने के बाद एंड कई दफा लास्ट में डाटा कलेक्शन के बाद टॉपिक फाइनलाइज होता है। सिमिलरली प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट वेल फॉर्मुलेटेड होती है, बट वहां पे जो है स्पेसिफिक होती है। बट क्वालिटेटिव में थोड़ी जर्नल स्टेटमेंट होती है, क्योंकि फील्ड में जाके आप अगर उसको चेंज करना चाहें या फील्ड अगर थोड़ा डिफरेंट रिफ्लेक्ट करिए तो यू कैन चेंज योर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट। सेम इज द सैम्पलिंग। सैम्पलिंग इज large in quantitative research and sampling is very much small in qualitative, because quantitative is about the generalizability and qualitative is about the deep insight investigation. Similarly, research design is very good. Someone might is
लगता है कि यूनिवर्सिटी का नेट अब तक वाकई तंग कर रहा है।
नहीं, मेरे यूनिवर्सिटी का रिसर्च नहीं तंग, नेट नहीं तंग कर रहा, ये मेरा माइक की इशू था। अच्छा, सिमिलरली रिसर्च डिजाइन जो है इन क्वांटिटेटिव फिक्स्ड रिसर्च डिजाइन, बट इन क्वालिटेटिव वी हैव एन इमर्जेंट रिसर्च डिजाइन जो कि फील्ड में जाके सम टाइम इमर्ज होता है। टाइप ऑफ डाटा इज न्यूमेरिकल इन क्वांटिटेटिव रिसर्च एंड टेक्सचुअल इन क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च. Data collection strategies in quantitative research we use questionnaire mostly, and in qualitative we use interview protocol to collect the data. Actually, I just want to come on my actual topic. These are all the preliminary information which you people already have. So I think I should skip these things. My next, actually, the topic of my today's presentation is how to write a research report. And research report is the last activity, and we write down the research report after the research is completed. So there are two things. One is the research proposal and other is the research report. Can someone of you tell me the difference between the research report and research proposal? Yes, please. जी, आवाज नहीं आ रही होगी, बंद है, म्यूट है। चले मैं आपको बता देती हूँ कि रिसर्च प्रपोजल और रिसर्च रिपोर्ट में फर्क ये है कि रिसर्च प्रपोजल रिसर्च स्टार्ट करने से पहले हम बनाते हैं। इट्स अ वेरी मच प्लान्ड एक्टिविटी, दैट सीक्वेंशियल प्लान एक्टिविटी। बट रिसर्च रिपोर्ट जो है वो बाद में जब आप रिसर्च कंडक्ट कर चुके होते हैं तो तब बनती है। रिसर्च प्रपोजल में फाइंडिंग्स नहीं होती, बट रिसर्च रिपोर्ट जो है मैं उसमें फाइंडिंग्स होती हैं। रिसर्च प्रपोजल जो है वो फ्यूचर टेंस में लिखी जाती है एंड रिसर्च रिपोर्ट जो है वो पास्ट टेंस में लिखी जाती है। एंड इफ समवन हैव अ कंफ्यूजन यू कैन आस्क।
In other words, ma'am, your research proposal that is nothing but the synopsis of your research. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. A research report is a reliable source to recount details about a conducted research and is most often considered to be a true testimony of all the work done. A research report is a well-crafted document that outlines the processes, data, and finding of a systematic investigation. It is an important document that serves as a first-hand account of the research process, and it is typically considered as an objective and accurate source of information. फंक्शंस जी पूछें।
ये जो रिसर्च स्टडी है
जी
उसके नतीजे में जो रिसर्च रिपोर्ट होती है एंड पे बनती है जी फरमा रही, ये मिसलीडिंग भी तो हो सकती हैं, क्योंकि जो आपने शुरू में बात बताई कि किसी भी रिसर्च को कंडक्ट करने के लिए दो चीजें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं, एक उसके वेरिएबल की ट्रू और एक्यूरेट सिलेक्शन, और दूसरा जो है वो डाटा जो है उसकी रिलायबल होना चाहिए। अब एक स्टडी अगर यूएसए में हुई है और उसी तरह की सेम स्टडी अगर पाकिस्तान में की जाए तो ऑब्वियसली कि ये अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज के अंदर जो है ये भी हो सकता है कि इंटायरली रिजल्ट उससे डिफरेंट हो जाए ड्यू टू द अनरिलायबल डाटा, जो कि हमारे पास उतने सोर्सेज नहीं है। तो इस सूरत में जब दो रिजल्ट कंफ्लिक्ट कर जाते हैं तो ये जो रिसर्च रिपोर्ट है या जो रिसर्च है हमारी, ये मिसलीडिंग भी तो हो सकती है। तो इसको आप कैसे एड्रेस करते हैं?
मैं आपको बताती हूँ। देखें, पहली बात तो ये है कि अगर इफ यू आर अ रिसर्चर, द वन ऑफ द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक व्हिच रिसर्चर मस्ट हैव इज द ऑनेस्टी। वी मस्ट हैव अ ऑनेस्ट एट एवरी स्टेप ऑफ रिसर्च प्रोसेस। तो एक तो आप ये कह रहे हैं कि ये रेप्लिकेट हो सकता है, लेकिन जब आप ये बात करते हैं कि इंस्ट्रूमेंट भी वैलिड और रिलायबल होना चाहिए और इंफॉर्मेशन भी, देखें इंफॉर्मेशन डिफर कर सकती है, रिसर्च की फाइंडिंग्स भी डिफर कर सकती हैं, बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी फैक्टर्स। जब देखें ना, एरर की गुंजाइश हर जगह है। मसलन आप ये देखें कि इवन आप जब एक सिंपल सी मेजरमेंट है, जब आप वो करते हैं, जैसे फिजिक्स में हम कभी करते थे वर्नियर कैलिपर और स्क्रू गेज यूज करते थे, इवन देन हमें एरर को फिक्स करना पड़ता था। मिनिमाइज एक बड़ी फिजिकल सी है। तो रिसर्च इज अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम। तो हर स्टेप पे आपको एरर का होता है, लेकिन जो रिसर्चर होता है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि उसको हर चीज को लॉजिक के साथ बताना होता है कि व्हाई आई एम डूइंग दिस, व्हाई आई एम यूजिंग दिस इंस्ट्रूमेंट, व्हाई आई एम यूजिंग दिस सैम्पलिंग प्लान, व्हाई आई एम यूजिंग दिस सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक। तो ईच एंड एवरी जगह पे वो रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है लॉजिकली हर चीज का जवाब देने का। तो जो अच्छा रिसर्चर है वो एक अच्छी और बुरी, देखें रिसर्च अच्छी और बुरी दोनों हो सकती हैं, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट। लेकिन आप फौरन विद इन अ फ्यू सेकंड जो है आप, इफ यू आर अ रिसर्चर and if you have a research methodology course, you can easily detect the faults, you can easily detect the falsifying of information कि कहाँ पे किसने information को जो है वो मिसयूज किया है। सो चूंकि हर चीज को लॉजिक के साथ प्रूव करना होता है, तो इसलिए अच्छी और बुरी रिसर्च में मेरा ख्याल है डिफरेंशिएट किया जा सकता है।
जी मैम, इसके अलावा ये भी मैं गुजारिश करूंगा,
can we say that this difference paved the way for other researchers कि जो डिफरेंस आ रहा है एक
ये तो है। देखिए, रिसर्च इज नॉट अ स्ट्रेट लाइन प्रोसेस, इट्स अ साइक्लिक प्रोसेस। Whenever you end any type of research, to answer any one question, more question arise at the end of your research project.
मैम एक रिसर्च आती है, उसमें अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम्स है और दूसरी 2 या 3 रिसर्चेस और भी आई हुई हैं, तो वो कमेंट्री उस पर छप जाती है और जो एक पेपर की समय आप जानती हैं, उसमें ये बता दिया जाता है कि फलां का जो पेपर पब्लिश हुआ है उसमें ये शॉर्ट कमिंग्स हैं और ये जो डेटा है वो उसके साथ वो अलाइन नहीं कर रहा, कंप्रोमाइज नहीं कर रहा है।
बिल्कुल, देखिए लॉजिकल स्ट्रक्चर आपका जो है ना वो हो जाता है, हिल जाता है।
जी बिल्कुल
है ना। तो इसलिए मतलब देखा, जब मैंने शुरू में बताया ना कि टीचर को क्यों जरूरत है रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी रिपोर्ट करने की, तो एक वजह जो मैंने नहीं बताई तो आपने खुद ही आइडेंटिफाई कर ली। हमें ये भी पता चलता है कि अच्छी रिसर्च कौन सी है, कौन सी रिसर्च के रिजल्ट्स को हमें करना चाहिए, कौन सी रिसर्च की ऐसी है जो फेक है। Function of the research report is to communicate a research process clearly and simply, to give a logical structure to the method, results and finding of research, to inform the readers about the finding and possible recommendations of the research, to be easy to read and navigate for the reader, to develop clear, concise communication and documentation skills. These can be the, the weak point of report. Research report. For example, it might be a badly structured, inappropriate writing style, poor grammar and punctuation, incorrect and inadequate referencing, too much or too little and irrelevant material, expressions not clear, unnecessary use of jargon, does not relate results to purpose. And मैं इस मामले में ना यहाँ पे ये बड़ी मेरे दिल को लगी है स्लाइड, में बहुत दुखी हूँ क्योंकि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स जब हमारे पास रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट लेके आते हैं तो दे आर नॉट सफिशिएंट इनफ टू राइट डाउन अ प्रॉपर इंग्लिश, and unfortunately we are in a country we have to rely on this language, and most of the people even can't write a single sick leave application, which is taught to us I think in class 6 or 7. So these mistakes are very much obvious in every research project in Pakistan, if I am not wrong. Might be 10 to 15% exceptions. Report should have a focus and effective report, emphasize the important information, and these are the characteristics of the report. Accuracy and effective report does not mislead the reader. That is the answer. Someone is asking about this. An effective report does not mislead the reader. Clarity and effective report does not confuse the reader. Conciseness and effective report does not waste the reader's time. These are the steps of the report writing. Pre-write, plan and outline, write a first draft, redraft, revise, and the last one is edit and proofread. These are the steps of the any writing activity, not only the research report writing. And there is an interesting research findings which I just want to share. If we want to plan to write something, the actual time invest on actual writing is just 20%. 80% is just to read, reread, and proofread, and think about the writing. These are the 80% time we people spend on these aspects. Actual writing time is just 20%. So these are the sections of research report: title page, acknowledgement, contents, abstract or summary, introduction, literature review, methodology, brief methodology, results or findings, discussions, conclusions, recommendations, references, and appendices.
Ma'am,
yes, please.
There is a question. Is there surely a difference between the research report and thesis?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you please clarify that?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Because in thesis you have to write down each and every section of your research process in very much detail. But
okay.
You can say the research report is the executive summary. You can say that you just, for example, if you want to write down about your methodology, you just write down the summary of your methodology, not the whole process of your research methodology.
Right. Thank you.
Welcome. First one is the title. The title summarizes the main ideas or ideas of your study. A good title contains the fewest possible words that adequately describe the contents or purpose of your research paper or research project. The title is without doubt the part of a paper that is read the most, and it is usually read first. And the second one is acknowledgement. Refers to the section that at the beginning of your thesis formatting, where you show your appreciation for the people who contributed to your projects. It is up to you to determine who you are most grateful to for helping you with the research project. Very interesting things which I just want to share, being a teacher, because you are also a teacher and you are also connecting your student or interacting your students. मेरे पास जब acknowledgement का पेज आता है, मैडम के लिए ना बड़े लंबी चीजें लिखी होती हैं, तो आई यूजुअली कमेंट मैं उस पर करती हूँ कि उतना ही लिखें जितना मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन है. वो मैडम ने ये किया, मैडम इतनी सिंपैथेटिक थी, मैडम ने ये कंट्रीब्यूट किया. तो मैं मोस्टली उस बात पे बड़ा कहती हूँ कि उतनी ही ड्यू, हमारे यहाँ एक्नॉलेज करने का ज्यादा रिवाज है, तो उतनी ही अप्रिसिएशन करें जितनी बनती है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं. सो एक्नॉलेजमेंट definitely there must be, because most of the people are helping us during this research journey, so we must acknowledge them, but in a very appropriate way. The table of contents is an organized listing of the chapters and major sections of your document. Reader will immediately be able to see how your manuscript is organized and then skip down to sections that are most relevant to them. A clear, concise, and well-formatted TOC is the first indicator of a good research report. To save yourself some time in making your table of content, be sure that you use what font style. Again, it's about कि आप कौन से फॉर्मेट को फॉलो कर रहे हैं. मोस्टली जैसे यूनिवर्सिटीज में APA को फॉलो किया जाता है, और हर सब्जेक्ट का अपना है. कुछ हार्वर्ड यूज करते हैं और कुछ और हैं, बहुत सारे हैं आजकल तो जो फॉर्मेटिक स्टाइल यूज होते हैं.
वैनकूवर.
बिल्कुल. तो जो भी आपके सब्जेक्ट एरिया में अप्रूव है, आप उसको देख लें, और उसको बल्कि आप अगर आप लोग चाहेंगे तो मैं एट द एंड जो हमारा मेरे डिपार्टमेंट का यूट्यूब चैनल है, मैं आपके साथ उसका लिंक भी शेयर कर दूंगी, और उस पर मेरी वीडियोस पड़ी हैं इसी तरह से रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी के कोर्स में, और वहाँ पे APA के लिए एक वीडियो है जिसमें हाउ टू रेफरेंस योर डॉक्यूमेंट प्रॉपरली. वो आप अगर वो वीडियो आप देख लेंगे तो आपके लिए ज्यादा मतलब बेनिफिशियल रहेगा. अब चेकलिस्ट भी मैंने बताई हुई है इसके अंदर के कंटेंट, टेबल ऑफ कंटेंट्स की, अगर आप उसको देखना चाहें कि यू हैव डन अ मार्वेलस जॉब, तो दीज आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. अप्रोप्रिएटली फॉर्मेटेड होना चाहिए. लिस्ट ऑल मेन सेक्शंस ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट्स starting with the dedication page. If the dedication page is not used, then start with the abstract page. List the title of each chapter plus all heading level 2. These are the main sections within each chapter. Do not list any subsections. All titles and headings match what appears in the text exactly. All page numbers are correct. The next one is the abstract. An abstract is a short summary of a longer work, such as a dissertation or research paper. The abstract concisely reports the aim and outcomes of your research so that readers know exactly what the paper is about. देखें, मैंने बड़ा ना सिस्टमेटिक जब मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को बताती हूँ तो मैं ना बड़ा देसी स्टाइल में बताती हूँ कि आपने कैसे लिखना है एब्स्ट्रैक्ट. तो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लिखने का सीधा सा फार्मूला है कि 2 लाइनें आप बैकग्राउंड ऑफ द टॉपिक, 1.5 लाइन आपका टॉपिक, 3 to 4 लाइन्स मेथोडोलॉजी की, 1.5 line about your main findings, and 1.5 line about your main recommendations. This is the format of abstract. ठीक है. वैसे मैं यहाँ से भी आपके लिए पढ़ देती हूँ. Write the abstract at the very end when you have completed the rest of the text. There are 4 things you need to include: your research problem and objectives, your methods, your key results or arguments, your conclusions. और abstract usually जो है 150 to 300 words की range में होना चाहिए. Abstract के बाद you have a very important section, that is the introduction of your research report. A well-written introduction is important because, quite simply, you never get a chance to make a good first impression. People are saying that the first impression is the last impression. So we also believe on this. The opening paragraph of your introduction will provide your readers with their initial impression. And again, I just want to share interesting incidents. Most of my students comment, when they comment me as a supervisor, they said that, Madam, 15 times introduction वापस करती हैं. So it's because my concern is that your opening paragraph should be very much impressive, because your whole research is actually hinges upon this first paragraph, because it attracts the reader intention. Your expected audience, if your first paragraph is sloppy, the people lost their interest, and I think they will not read your whole document. So the first paragraph should be very very impressive, very attractive, so the audience can engage themselves with your document. The opening paragraph of your introduction will provide your readers with their initial impressions about the logic of your argument, your writing style, the overall quality of your research, and ultimately the validity of your findings and conclusions. A vague, disorganized, or error-filled introduction will create a negative impression, whereas a concise, engaging, and well-written introduction will start your readers off thinking highly of your analytical skills, your writing style, and your research approach. Think of the introduction as a mental roadmap that must answer for the readers these 4 questions. What was I studying? Why was this topic important to investigate? What did we know about this topic before I did this study? How will this study advance our knowledge? आपके लिए एक सादा सा देसी नुस्खा कि आपने अगर लिखना है इंट्रोडक्शन, तो आप एक बात याद रखेंगे कि इंट्रोडक्शन इज विदाउट सब हेडिंग. वहाँ पे यूजुअली हम सब हेडिंग्स नहीं लिखते, बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड दैट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू राइट डाउन द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ योर स्टडी, 2 to 3 paragraphs. Then you have introduced your variables, again 3 to 4 paragraph. It's up to your as per your topic, and then 2 to 3 paragraph about the logical linkage of your variables. And then the last one is the rationale, and rationale is about again the gaps in the knowledge. You have to mention the few studies there, few recent research studies, and find out the gap, and then mention why your study is important, why you conduct this study, and what is the rationale behind conducting. Because research, research is a very much time consuming activity, involves lot of financing. So it must be a fruitful for humanity, I think. So if one bigger thing I can say. So even you can follow these literary things, but I am just telling you my experience. So again, the next is the literature review. Now we all know why we do literature review. I think you can read these few lines, but we must know the purpose of the literature review. Literature review guide you on each and every step of your research process. For example, when you select a topic, first of all, literature give you an indication whether your research topic is heavily researched area, whether your research topic is medium research area, and whether there are few researches on this topic. So whatever area you want to select, you have to follow. Mostly it is advisable for a novice researcher that you should select a medium research area, because we can get an idea about the different research methodologies used by other peoples, different sampling techniques. Even we can acquire instruments developed by some other people on that subject. So medium research area is quite useful in a sense that we can easily find the gap and we can give a good rationale of doing that particular research. So for most of the students, it is advisable that they should select their research topic, which is medium research area, because there are few, few weaknesses if you are working on a heavily researched area, because it's quite difficult to find the gaps. So that will become difficult to justify. So preparation of literature. Define your subject and scope of the review. Select the library catalog, subject databases, and other search tools to find sources that are relevant to your topic. Read and evaluate the sources and to determine their suitability to the understanding of topic at hand. Analyze, interpret, and discuss the findings and consideration of the sources selected. So the next is research methodology. The research methodology is the specific procedure or techniques used to identify, select, process, and analyze information about topic in a research report. The methodology sections allow the reader to critically evaluate a study overall validity and reliability. Methodology section include the type of research you did, how you collected your data, how you analyze your data, any tools or material you use in the research, your rationales for choosing these methods. The methodology section should generally be written in the past tense. The results section is where you report the finding of your study based upon the methodology or methodologies you applied to gather information. The results section should state the findings of the research arranged in a logical sequence without bias or interpretation. And the next is the discussion. The purpose of the discussion is to interpret and describe the significance of your finding in light of what was already known about the research problem being investigated, and to explain any new understanding or insight that emerge as a result of your study of the problem. देखिए इसमें सीधी सी बात ये है कि जब आप डिस्कशन लिखते हैं तो आपने अपनी फाइंडिंग्स को अपने माइंड में रखना है एंड कंपेयर एंड कंट्रास्ट करना है कि आपकी फाइंडिंग्स कौन कौन सी स्टडीज ऐसी हैं जो आपकी फाइंडिंग के साथ अलाइन कर रही हैं और कौन सी स्टडीज ऐसी हैं जो जिनके साथ आपकी फाइंडिंग्स मैच नहीं कर रही। तो वहाँ पर जहाँ पे अलाइन कर रही हैं वहाँ पे शायद इतनी जस्टिफिकेशन की ज़रूरत नहीं होती, लेकिन जहाँ पर आपकी फाइंडिंग्स डिफरेंट आ रही हैं वहाँ पर आपने अपनी फाइंडिंग्स को जस्टिफाई करना होता है कि हाउ इज इट गोइंग टू हैपन इफ यू हैव अ डिफरेंट फाइंडिंग्स। देखिए उसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें हो सकती हैं, मसलन टाइम कॉन्टेक्स्ट चेंज हो जाता है, पॉपुलेशन चेंज हो जाती है, सम सैम्पलिंग, जितना भी अच्छा सैम्पलिंग, रैंडम सैम्पलिंग इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट सैम्पलिंग प्रोसीजर, इवन देन उसमें गलती की गुंजाइश होती है। I'm just giving you an example. Once in a while I was working in a piece and we are conducting a large scale assessment, and we have to do the pilot study of that large scale assessment, and we have to visit one school, and we wanted to collect data from 7th grader, and there were 3 sections of about 70 to 75 students in a single section. So we combined the students of these 3 sections and then randomly selected 20 students from these 3 sections. When I go to a classroom and I call those students by their roll number, when I called the number 3rd student, and teacher interrupted me and she asked me that why you selected the repeated students, and I just got surprised. How is it going to happen? Because I did random sampling, and random sampling is one of the best technique, but still by default, जैसे मैंने अपनी एग्जांपल में आपको बताया, कुछ errors आ जाती हैं, तो so you have to justify your findings and results. That is why we can, if someone cannot justify, we can easily differentiate between the good and bad research. So your Discussion should focus on explaining and evaluating what you found, showing how it relates to your literature review and research question, and making an argument in support of your overall conclusions. There are many different ways to write this section, but you can focus your discussion around your key elements, interpretations. What do the results mean? Why do the results matter? And another section is of report writing is the conclusion and recommendation section. This section is essential part of research report and also mark the end of a research report. Both must be taken seriously as they are the very vast impression you leave in the mind of. Similarly, जैसे beginning important होती है, similarly end भी important होता है. Your report must leave an impression on reader. They have the ability to add beauty and technicality to your piece of writing, no matter how much or how best you have written other chapters of your paper. It wouldn't matter if your conclusion or recommendations lack soul. The last two parts are referencing. I already talked about it कि जो भी आपने referencing style लेना है उसके मुताबिक आप text के अंदर भी reference करें और at the end भी referencing list दें और आप make it sure cross match करें कि whether the name present in the text running text में जो आपने reference दिया है वो आपकी last list में मौजूद है या नहीं है. Similarly appendices में जो भी आपका इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज हुआ है, कोई कहीं से आपने जो रिसर्च रिव्यू बोर्ड होता है, अगर उससे आपने कोई परमिशन ली है, उसका कोई लेटर है, किसी का इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज किया, उसकी कोई ईमेल है, तो यू हैव पुट दीज थिंग एज योर appendices. 5 W's and H is the writing is the style of report writing. What, why, who, where, when, and how. What mean? Your research problem. Why you are going to rationale, why you are going to conduct your research, who, from whom you are going to conduct your research, where, what is the place from where you are going to collect your data, when you are going to collect your data, and how you are going to interpret those results. So these are the 5 W's and H. So when you finally complete your draft, you have to look back and you have to revisit this draft. Consider the role each item will play in communicating information or ideas to the reader. Whether you provide background of your research, describe the type of activity you use to collect evidence. Actually, this is the checklist. When you revisit your written document, I mean to say that if you want to proofread your document, you have to keep it in your mind these points. It places evidence in the context of background. It makes recommendations for action. Leave time to read through your report. Cut out unnecessary descriptions. Can you tighten your sentences, especially the linking and introductory sentences to paragraph? Write to express, not to impress. This is a very much important thing. कि समटाइम हम बहुत ज़्यादा जार्गन यूज़ करते हैं, बड़े कहते हैं ना ऑर्नामेंटल किस्म के वर्ड्स यूज़ करते हैं, बट ट्राई टू बी सिंपल, especially when you are because you are not writing any fiction or literature, you are just presenting the factual material, so try to be simple. And when another thing which I just want to share with you, whenever you report your results as a researcher, be very much humble. Don't say that आपने कमाल कर दिया, इससे बेहतर कोई रिसर्च कर नहीं सकता और आपकी एरर फ्री है. लीव मार्जिन फॉर द पीपल कि आप बाद में उसको जस्टिफाई कर सकें कि माइट भी ऐसा हुआ है. इसीलिए मैं बड़ा क्लियरली कहती हूँ कि रिकमेंडेशन शुड नॉट बी रिटन लाइक दैट. I recommend that this should be arranged like that. It should not be happen. You must say, be in a humble way, that might be, would be, because there is a chance of error at every step of research. But that doesn't mean that we stop researching. Clear and simple sentence conveys your ideas more effectively. Use technical terms accurately. Make sure you fully understand what they mean. Avoid adding unnecessary jargons just to sound more academic. So if you are proofreading, read the brief carefully, consider who you are writing for, keep it in your mind. Always, whenever you start writing, the first thing you have to specify who are your audience. Identify what your audience want to find out, the purpose of the report. Make your writing piece interesting for your audience. Check what sections your report needs. Plan your time. Write up sections as you go along rather than leaving it all to the end. Plan each section individually so you know what to include and do not include irrelevant information. Spend more time on your discussion section. Make sure you know the word limit and scope. Make sure your references are accurate. Leave time for careful proofreading and checking. So thank you very much. I think I finished in a very accurate time.